Welcome to Tina Cooks. Tonight we're going to be doing chicken and broccoli Alfredo. It's one of my favorite dishes. I started by getting the pan hot. This should take you about 20 to 25 minutes to do. Start out with a little oil in the pan. Now when I make a chicken and broccoli Alfredo, I like to warm my garlic, warm my oil, put my garlic in the pan so that it infuses the oil with the garlic flavor. I also like to season and cook my broccoli. I don't like just plain boiled broccoli in the Alfredo because I think it should have its own flavor. You can buy a head of broccoli and parboil it and clean it. This is frozen broccoli. I like frozen broccoli just as good. Take hot water, thaw it out, and then put it in the pan. Make sure you drain the excess of water out, because if you don't, you're going to be steaming your broccoli instead of pan frying it. There we go. I'm going to also season this. When I cook, I season everything that goes into each dish. This is granulated garlic, salt and pepper. Okay. You need a little more oil in here. This pan is really hot. And we're going to saute this. I'm going to take this down a little bit. There we go. Let's get my dish. Now as I cook each item that we're going to use in the dish, I'm going to take it out to do the next item. So we'll do our broccoli. When the broccoli is done, we'll then do our chicken. I'm going to cover this broccoli and I'm going to give it a few minutes to steam or sweat. Okay? So that it gets a little softer. We don't want it real bitey when it's in there. My water is boiling. So I'm going to drop my muscatoli. I like to keep everything bite-sized pieces when you make a dish like this, same size. So that's all bite-sized, the same size and texture. Here's my towel. I'll get these going. These take about 8 minutes. We're still going to let this sweat, not quite ready. Alrighty. I use frozen broccoli because it's easier and you can buy the fresh. Sometimes I think it's a little less expensive when you get it on sale. Okay, so we're going to take this broccoli out. Okay. Go. And I'm going to put a little more oil in this pan. Now there's garlic in here from the broccoli. I don't want to over garlic this dish because it's done with Alfredo. It's done with the cheese. Too much garlic, it overpowers the rest of the food. I love garlic. It's good in some things, really strong. But then there's other dishes where you have to know it might be a little too much. We're going to also season our chicken. Again, I'm just going to use a dash. This is granulated garlic, very, very lightly. A little bit of parsley. I'm going to use some salt. Some pepper. I have made this dish with grilled chicken where I've done the broccoli and the Alfredo and put grilled chicken on top of it instead of the pan-fried chicken. So we're going to boost this up so that it gets cooking a little bit. And we're going to check our pasta. Okay. A little parsley in there, but only add flavor. I'm going to cover this. Actually, you don't want to cover the chicken. I was going to cover the chicken to get it hot, but it'll steam instead of pan fry, and you really want it to pan fry. You don't want it to steam. Yeah, we'll cover the broccoli to keep the broccoli hot. How's that? Excellent. Now this chicken, you kind of want to cook it to the point where it's really done. They're small bite-sized pieces. They're going to cook quickly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cream. Now this is about 1.5 cups, 2 cups of heavy cream. When I make an Alfredo, I like a heavy cream. I'm going to put 2 eggs into it because I like eggs in an Alfredo sauce. An Alfredo sauce is a cheese sauce, basically, only without the roux and the flour and that technique. So we're just going to beat these in. I'm getting my cream ready for when the chicken is ready. Because once the chicken is cooked, we're going to put the Alfredo sauce in here. Okay. Have some Romano cheese ready. Now, Alfredo. Some people make it with Parmesan cheese. That's mostly how it's made. I like a Romano Alfredo. Sometimes I mix Parmesan and Romano. So if you prefer the Parmesan cheese, use the Parmesan cheese. If you want to try a little mix to see if you like the Romano, try a little mix. I'm partial to the Romano. I just need to let this, I need to let the chicken just cook. We can't have raw chicken. Okay, now I'm going to take this off for a few minutes. Because that chicken looks about pretty good. I'm going to check a little piece to make sure we're not giving anybody salmonella. You don't want to kill anybody from uncooked chicken. It looks pretty good because we are going to simmer the chicken a little more in the cheese sauce. The only thing is with an Alfredo is you don't want to put the cream in there too hot because then you're going to instantly curdle that cream and you don't want to do that. But I do want the little brown bits in the bottom of the pan because it's going to season the cheese sauce like the chicken, and that's basically what you want to do. All right, so we're going to let this just chill a minute. Make sure it's not too hot. Okay? We're going to take some cream. It's already going. And we're going to, actually I'm going to add it right off the heat because I don't want it to curdle. I'm going to give it a minute. That's really too hot. I don't want to take the chance of curdling it. This. While we're waiting for that to come down a minute, let's check this pasta because I almost forgot about it. Nope, it's still al dente. Almost done though, almost at the point where I like it. Because again, we're going to cook the pasta in the sauce. Okay, here we go. Now this is at a heat where it's not. I'm actually going to take this heat down so that when I do put it back on, it's not going to curdle right up. You have to be careful when you're working with cream or anything that can curdle on you, eggs. And basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to get all this chicken goodness that's down in the bottom and on the edge of this pan. I haven't added the cheese at this point because I don't have the cream on the burner. Okay? Now, this is the part I like to do the best. Start out with so much. Just a fistful. You don't want it real thick to start because with the eggs and the cheese, this is going to come up to a simmer and it will thicken. I'm also going to add some broccoli, about a handful of broccoli. I didn't cook this broccoli to death so that there's no color and there's no... a lot of times you'll have it so that it's not really a green color, it's like a greenish beige. Overcooked it. So make sure you watch that. Now as this simmers, see how it's thickening. Okay. Alright, we got our nice little chunks of broccoli and chicken. See how they're all bite-sized? When you put the mustacholi in there, it's going to be perfect. You're not going to have huge clumps of chicken and broccoli. Alright, so now I'm going to check this out. Oh, this looks pretty good. I like this pan because you can drain your pasta. That burn is not too hot. I'm going to put some of this pasta over here. This pan is hot. There we go. Alrighty. Drain this out. I'm going to put some of the pasta in here. Like that. I'll leave this on the side because I'm not going to put it back in the water because it is done. I'm going to leave that out for people that don't like broccoli. You can do chicken and artichokes. You can do chicken and peppers, onions, whatever you like. If you like the cheese sauce. I'm going to add a little more parsley for color. I like a little color in there. And we're going to simmer this down. Nice in the pan. If you get your pasta to this point and it's a little bit dry, you always have a little extra cream on the side. Now with an egg in it, this cream will stay good maybe 3-4 days. Always, when you're storing something in the refrigerator, you have any leftovers, always smell it before you use it because there are times that I didn't and I should have and it was bad. Alrighty. Well, that's it and we're just ready for the plate. For those of you that do not like broccoli, I'm going to show you how to do a quick chicken Alfredo. I'm going to start out with a little bit of oil. I do have my pan hot. Okay. Now I go, like I said before, we go nice and mild on the garlic. You don't want it to interfere with the cheese sauce. Alright, we'll swirl that around a little bit. Alrighty. Get that going. I love oil and garlic. We're going to put the rest of this chicken. Now I cut this chicken in small little bite-sized pieces, just like I did with the broccoli. Okay, get that going. Chicken Alfredo, chicken broccoli Alfredo was always one of the favorites wherever I cook. People just love chicken and broccoli Alfredo, or, you know, chicken and Alfredo. I'm going to season this up with a little granulated garlic. Okay. I'm going to add a little parsley. You're still going to season it. You need to have seasonings in there. Salt. Pepper. And you really, really want these to saute. You don't want them to steam, so you won't cover them, just like the other dish. The reason why I have to do 2 chicken Alfredos is because my son doesn't eat anything green. He doesn't like spinach, he doesn't like broccoli, he doesn't like beans. So you do have finicky eaters. My mother says let him have a peanut butter sandwich, but I have a hard time with that. I need to feed my kids. I'm just going to let this cook. I'm going to take this fork out of here. I'm going to turn these chickens over with this fork. This is probably easier than this big wooden spoon. I have an electric oven in my home. When I work in restaurants, you have gas stoves. I love gas stoves. I don't have gas where I live. And someday, soon, I'm hoping to have a gas stove with a propane tank, but right now I still have to suffer with an electric burner. And they still cook good. They just take a little longer than gas. Now, just like the broccoli and chicken Alfredo, you want to make sure that your pan is not super, super hot, because it will curdle. Sometimes I wish I could show people it curdling, so you say, that you don't want to do. But why ruin good food? Okay, so you got the cheese and egg mixture. Put it in your pan. Some cheese. I'm going to bring this to a nice low simmer. If it's on too high, pull it off. It will curdle. Okay. I'm going to take the rest of my pasta, and this is why I like this pan, because you can use it just to reheat your pasta, and if your pasta's al dente, it'll stay nice. You don't have to worry about it getting too soft and mushy by sitting in the water too long. Now, unlike a pasta toss or a dish where you want to cook the water in, this one you don't. You don't want to have water in here. You want to drain your pasta out, you know, good. Okay. I'm going to add our pasta in here. And you're going to stir this around. You want to have a nice loose Alfredo so that when the pasta cooks into it, it's a little runny, because if you make it too thick, when you put your pasta into it, it's going to take it all in, and you're just going to have like a pasty mess. You want a nice creamy Alfredo. Not, if you see little chunks of cheese, it looks took it too far. Okay, and this is our chicken Alfredo without the broccoli. Okay, this is our chicken and broccoli Alfredo. We're going to come over to the plate. Okay. We're going to serve it up like so. This is a fairly quick meal. Come home from work at 5:30. Have your stuff all nice and ready. Get a fresh piece of chicken, some broccoli, and there you go. Okay, chicken and broccoli Alfredo. We really need someone to share in this dish. I'm going to have my daughter Gina come in. This is one of her favorites. She's going to be leaving for Spain soon, so I have to make sure she's fed good before she goes. Gina, enjoy.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay. Now, food good. Let's start over.
Yeah, it's German.
What do I want to say? Okay, ready? Okay. All right, ready?
Yeah.
This food looks good enough to eat.
No, you gotta put it down.
Oh, you told me up.
Yeah, but you gotta put it down before you start talking.
All right, now wait a minute. You want it up or down
Hold it
first?
up. You gotta put it down and start talking.
All right.
Putting it up out of the picture and dropping it.